Yo guys, make sure you're using code BH to check out for 10 to 30% off any G Fuel purchases. Now let's get into the video. Yo, what's going on guys? It's your boy Humbo here bringing you a brand new upload, and today we're going to be going over a very asked question on my channel in the comments, and that is it too late to switch to keyboard and mouse in Fortnite? I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of questions that you need to ask yourselves, and I'm going to really frame this up well so you can decide if it's right for you, and I'm also going to be giving my own opinion on if it is too late at the end of this video. So make sure you watch this full video all the way through. It's going to be a banger little rant video. Hope you guys enjoy the topic, and make sure y'all drop a sub with the noties on if you do go on to enjoy it. Helps your boy out so much. But without further ado, let's get into the video, man. Alright guys, the first thing that I want to address in this video is going to be a very general question. How much time does Fortnite have left? By the time you make that switch and start to feel very comfortable competing on keyboard and mouse, is there going to be enough time left in the game, to actually enjoy what you've worked for, right? So that's a very important question. And then the other one is going to be a personal enjoyment question. And this goes both ways. So as far as personal enjoyment goes, obviously if you're not enjoying the game a ton, how are you going to grind super hard to get good at keyboard and mouse? But on the flip side of that, maybe switching to keyboard and mouse and really taking on that challenge is what's going to reignite your love for the game. It's going to make you way more motivated. It's going to make you grind way harder. So by just switching to keyboard and mouse, they may up your grind level a ton. And some of you guys have been messing with it or maybe flipping back and forth, already know what I'm talking about. But it is super fun kind of starting at square one and giving yourself a real challenge with the game you've played for so long. It's almost like looking at the game from a completely different lens. Like everything is different. You don't have any of the same abilities. Like, some things you might be a little better at or see flashes of, and other things you're terrible at, and that might be addicting and you might really like that, which is great. But as far as the general overall question, I definitely think Fortnite has at least a few years in the tank. I mean, 2 to 3 years is very easy. Now, the reason why I believe that, obviously, the views on all channels and platforms for Fortnite are still keeping up very good. I'm not saying what they were in their prime, but Fortnite's still pulling hundreds of thousands of views on Twitch. It's still pulling great views on YouTube, top 5 game on YouTube. This game has at least 2 to 3 years left in the tank. So don't worry about that as far as switching. This game will be around when you were at your skill level that you want to be on keyboard. So that should be out of the way. It should be more of a personal enjoyment, question and answer right there. And do you guys think that switching will make you really want to grind and really challenge yourself and give you a fresh look at the game? Or do you think you're just kind of not really feeling it too much and you're just kind of looking for something else to do? Because if that's the case, this grind's not going to be worth it for you. So that's the first question you should answer. If you have to be really motivated to make a real, true, great transition and be able to compete in tournaments on keyboard and mouse, you have to be into it. So ask yourself that first. Now, I think the perfect transition topic is going to be how long does it actually take to achieve that confidence that you had on controller on keyboard and mouse? How long are you looking at to be able to actually compete in tournaments and be able to play at a high level on keyboard and mouse? And of course, this varies depending on, personal, how good do you switch? Like how good do you transition? Some people take it in faster. Some people take information in a little slower. So this is a give or take answer. Don't feel bad if you're coming up on this date, but I would like to say it's about 6 months. In 6 months time of good practice. Now you can't lie to yourself. You've been actually training every day. You've been doing all the different humbo things. You've been watching the videos. You've been taking it step by step, taking it seriously like you would take any other sport. You're really a part of it. You should be good in 6 months. For real, guys. 6 months, you should be feeling confident. You should be feeling around the same skill level you were on controller. It should take about that long for the muscle memory to really set in. And around the 3-month point, like earlier, you should be starting to see those flashes of how good you can be. So in 3 months, you're going to be very inconsistent still. You're still going to be nervous taking fights. Like all that stuff's normal. You're still going to be potatoing super hard. But, by around 6 months, double that time, it really starts to set in. So I see a big thing there. It goes 0. Obviously, you're terrible at 0 when you're starting. 3 months in, you're still pretty sloppy, really inconsistent, but you see those flashes of goodness. And then around 6 months, you're starting to feel confident. And of course, a year is like, you should be masterclassing by a year. You feel me? So that's what I would say as far as timeline to give you guys an idea to ask yourselves if that's okay for you. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is one of the biggest traits that messes people up so bad. If you're one of the people that do this, you have 2 options. Don't switch to keyboard and mouse. It's not for you. Or you really need to change your mindset and be mindful of when you're doing this because it will destroy your transition. I've seen it so many times. It will annihilate your progress. I'm being super harsh here because I want to make sure this is important. The biggest thing here is so many people love the get rich quick scheme, right? And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about people people who are like, oh my God, magic binds, magic sensitivity. Yes, there are optimal binds. I make videos on that all the time. There's an optimal way to find a good sensitivity for yourself, but nothing is the best. I can tell you guys, I don't want you watching my videos thinking there's some magic pill somewhere that's going to make you great. I don't want those clicks. Trust me. I want you guys to understand that you need to stay on a very similar sensitivity. You need to not change your binds at all. The only time you should be changing your binds is if they're extremely unoptimal, which you can look up on videos like mine, Jerry, and whoever you guys feel comfortable watching, and just make sure they're somewhat close to optimal. Because the only thing with binds is, if you're playing on binds that are terrible, you're gonna really hinder your progress on keyboard and mouse. It makes it not worth it. It makes it too late. You guys need to make sure they're somewhat optimal. They're good, but they do not have to be perfect. Everybody's chasing some perfect little system that works and makes you incredible. That's not how this works. There's no keyboard, there's no mouse, there's no sensitivity, no key binds that are going to make you booger or mongrel. I promise you that. The best thing you guys can do is stick to a very similar set of everything over time. This will make this switch worth it for you. I promise. Even if you are slow at first and maybe some of your friends get those jumps before you, over time, sticking to the exact same thing is the best thing for muscle memory. You guys need to stay on that track, stay focused, and trust that time will, resolve all issues you have right now. If you just put in the time, you be patient, you don't expect everything to come in a week or a month, I promise you that will make this switch very worth it for you if you're a person who can understand what I'm saying and actually do that. All right, guys, and now for the next topic, I just wanted to ask you guys a serious question just to make you think about it. You guys are very behind if you were switching to keyboard and mouse right now. And what is the hardest mechanic to get good at with keyboard and mouse? It's definitely not building, it's definitely not editing, it's definitely not piece control, none of that. We all know what it is aim. The only way you're gonna be able to get your aim to catch up to standard wasn't you've been used to playing on controller, right? Aiming is not something that takes any real practice. It kind of just comes pretty naturally. I used to play on controller. You've been playing FPSs for a long time, and Fortnite does have pretty good aim assist. You're not gonna have to worry about aim too much. Now with keyboard and mouse, if you want to catch up to standard, right? Because here's the problem that I worry for most of you. You're gonna get to that 6-month period. Your editing and building are going to be very solid. You're gonna be feeling great about it. You're gonna be a good player, but your aim is going to be so lackluster. You are going to be losing so many fights you should have won. You made the right edits, the right builds, everything, and then you just lose the gunfight. Your tracking's bad, your flick shot's bad, and you guys are gonna get demotivated, and this switch isn't gonna be worth it for you. It's gonna be too late for you because you're not bringing your aim up to standard with your building and editing. You need to do aim training on a third-party site. You need to go on aim labs, Kovacs. You guys need to do aim routines inside of Fortnite. You literally have to do this every day. It has to be a part of your routine. If you're not willing to do that, then this switch is too late for you. You're not gonna be able to catch your aim up to standard. Now, on the flip side of that, if you do that every day, if you truly commit to it every day, your aim will surpass tons of people who've been on keyboard and mouse for 2 or 3 years. Because what happens is none of those people aim train every day. They get lazy. They're sloppy. They don't practice it, right? They've been on it for a while. They get comfortable. You can catch them easily. You can pass them easily. You can start competing in tournaments for real, but you have to do it every day. So just ask yourself that question because I promise you it's the most slept on part of switching to keyboard and mouse. And now that that's out of the way, I want to ask you guys a super important question. Do you have your expectations managed? Do you understand that FPS capabilities, your ping, and all of those factors are going to come into play to how good you can actually get? You may ask the question, is it too late? Am I going to be able to get good enough in time? Well, how good do you want to be? What are you actually picturing? Are you picturing yourself looking like Mongrel in 6 months or a year even? No, you're not going to be Mongrel. The best that I think could happen is you could be a semi-professional player. If you did everything perfect, you worked really, really, really hard, you could become a semi-professional player. You could get earnings 100%, depending on your level of dedication. You're not going to be the best pro in the world. That's just not feasible at this point. You need to be able to take that into account and understand that. And as long as you're okay with that and you want to do this for the challenge and you guys want to try to compete at whatever level you're aiming for, just understand that you're not going to be the best player in the world. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be a top tier pro. It's too late. It is too late for that. That is true. So just as long as you understand that, you guys are cool with that, and you just see that for what it is, you should have no problem with this switch in my opinion. But if you're really having these crazy dreams and expectations, it's not going to happen on Fortnite. And this is going to lead me into my closing point in this video, but it's super important. Close this video off right off the point I just made. This is why I do personally think that it is worth the switch and it is not too late to switch to keyboard and mouse. If you guys have those big aspirations and dreams to become a pro player on any game, most of those FPS shooters, tac shooters, all those types of things, battle royales, are going to be dominated by keyboard and mouse players. This is just a fact with competitive gaming. Now, here's the thing, right? Switching to keyboard and mouse on Fortnite is by far the hardest game you can switch on. There's so many extra build binds involved. No other FPS shooter or even Battle Royale has similar mechanics. Normally, you're just having to worry about your WASD, your reload, your interact, and your shooting. It's very straightforward. And your gadgets, of course, utility. But with Fortnite, you have all of that, plus your build binds, plus all those weapon swap binds. It is so much to process. So if you can overcome the switch to keyboard and mouse while on Fortnite, you are going to be well equipped to move to any other game after that and take it seriously competitively and become a real gamer, balling out. So what I like to say here is, I switched to keyboard and mouse knowing that the next game I play, it would help me out so much to have learned it on Fortnite, to have learned all those binds, to have become that proficient on keyboard and mouse. If you can become a good player on KBM, on Fortnite, after being a controller, you are going to be set for the rest of the games you play, the rest of the games you take seriously in your life. So even if you don't think you can become a top tier pro on Fortnite, it is a big investment to become a go to keyboard and mouse on Fortnite. If you can become solid, you can then go on to play any FPS, any tac shooter you want until you're done gaming, which is a super big thing to be able to do. You know, you have to take that into account. You have to think about the long term. And that's my opinion on it, man. I think it is 100% worth it, but you do need to ask yourself the questions that I've laid out here to see if it's right for you. But yeah, guys, without further ado, that's going to end this video. Just make sure you drop a sub with noties on it. If you like rocking with my commentaries and you guys enjoy the tips and enjoy my takes on stuff, I really appreciate you all. Have a wonderful, blessed day.